What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you my best guide on how to be fully prepared going into Witch Queen. Think of it as my Christmas gift to you guys. Now, a couple things I want to get out of the way before we start. First, I try not to beg for likes or subs, but I'm really trying to push for 5,000 subs before the new year, so if you find any of the info in this video helpful, then a like and subscription would mean the world to me. Next, a lot, but certainly not all, of this video involves bounty stacking so that you can upgrade your seasonal artifact quickly in Witch Queen. Bungie has not said if bounties will carry over, and I do not recall if bounties were wiped before Beyond Light. I feel like they were, but I can't be sure. Anyways, comment down below if you remember. I didn't even really start bounty stacking until a couple seasons ago, so it didn't affect me back then. So take everything you see here with a grain of salt, knowing that bounty stacking may in fact not be worth your time. But if you are like me and already over season rank 400, then there is no point in turning in bounties before Witch Queen anyways. On top of that, it is Christmas break, and with the recent release of the 30th anniversary pack, you are probably playing a decent amount of Destiny 2 right now, so you could get a lot of bounties done just passively anyways. And lastly, I want to know, how many bounty sources do you think are in Destiny 2 right now? Leave a comment down below with your best guess. I recently made a poll on my Instagram asking this, and the results were higher than a lot of people guessed. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram for daily Destiny 2 content. Anyways, enough self-promo. With all that out of the way, and the warning that bounty stacking may turn out to be a waste of time, let us look at the most optimal way to bounty stack. Going into Season of the Lost, I made one of these guides, and I learned a lot about which bounties are the best. I'm not going to go into the specific XP amounts here, but you can rest assured that the bounties I suggest are the ones that will give you the most XP, at least currently. These are also subject to change when Witch Queen launches. Dreaming City bounties and spider bounties got their XP nerfed in the past, so it is entirely possible some of these could too. So starting with the best ones, you have weekly bounties. There are a surprising number of weekly bounties that you can complete in Destiny 2. I have been stacking bounties for the last 3 weeks so that I can make the most comprehensive guide on all the sources, and here are all the weekly bounties that are in the game that are worth doing. First are Hawthorne bounties. These require a clan first of all, and they all must be done with at least one clan member. After 3 weeks of collecting the 4 bounties she offers, it seems that there are 7 total bounties that you can do from her. I don't have all 7 done on any character, as I am holding off on 10 Gambit games with a clanmate until I can be assured that bounties aren't being deleted. I'm not spending 2 hours of my life playing Gambit for nothing. Next up, let's look at some weekly bounties that are limited time. The main one here is Iron Banner. There should be one more Iron Banner at least before Witch Queen, so if you are partaking in that, then hang on to your bounties when you complete them. There are 4 total. Speaking of limited time, Europa has a weekly bounty that can be done once a week for 3 weeks. These are the Empire Hunt weeklies. You have to get precision kills and kill Praxis, Phylax, and Technocrat. So you'll have to start doing this one 3 weeks before Witch Queen if you want to get each one done. From there, we head to the Moon. There are actually 4 weekly Moon bounties here, 2 at the Lectern and 2 at Eris. The Eris ones say they give a Hymn of Desecration and a Firewall data fragment, but last season I turned them in for science and confirmed they also give a whole bunch of XP. And lastly, we have the Cosmodrome weekly bounties. There are 2 here and they are extremely easy. Next, let's look at the playlist activity bounties. These include Strikes, Crucible, and Gambit. You want to do daily bounties here, and not the repeatable bounties, as repeatable bounties don't give as much experience. Additionally, you only want to do 7 playlist bounties. Why is that? Because if you do 8 old bounties, you will get a reward from the vendor. And if they are all old bounties, they will be capped at 1330 max. And the Witch Queen light level is likely going to be up to like 1500-ish, so this will just be a waste. However, if you only do 7 and then turn them all in Witch Queen, and then grab 1 new bounty after Witch Queen and complete it, then it should drop as a powerful. This is how it has worked for the last year at least. Also, you can see I don't have any Gunsmith bounties completed. That is because these are super quick and easy to do. So for now, I am saving bounty space for Dawning bounties and Zurin Starhorse bounties, which conveniently brings me to my next point. Which bounties not to do. Last season I was doing weekly Dreaming City bounties, but it turns out these give less experience than even daily bounties. So you do not want to do Dreaming City bounties. Additionally, the Tangled Shore is being sunset, so stay away from spider bounties. You also do not want to hold seasonal bounties, so these are things like Splicer Servitor bounties, Wayfinder's Compass bounties, and Zurin Starhorse bounties. Also, do not hang on to limited time event bounties such as the Dawning. I think that about covers the bounties you want to avoid. So for me, I'm doing as many weeklies as possible, and then the 7 of all the daily bounties from the 4 vendors that give rewards for doing 8. These being Shax, Zavala, Drifter, and the Gunsmith. And then in the week before Witch Queen, so long as Bungie hasn't stated that bounties will not carry over, I will fill the rest of my quest inventory with planetary bounties. These are quick and easy bounties that can be found at any destination. You can acquire 3 a day from people like Failsafe and Devrim. One more thing to mention is in the last week, you can delete your legacy items to make a bit more space. So I will delete my Hammer of Proving, Splicer Gauntlet, and Cryptolith Lure. This will give you the max space for bounties. And that is all the bounty prep you really need to know. I hope it was helpful. Now let us go into some general housekeeping tips. There are a surprising amount of vendors that give you rewards in this game, so make sure you square up with all of them and turn in all your rank up rewards. Grab any emblems or ghosts or ornaments that you may not have picked up. I had a lot of engrams to get from Shaxx, and if you turn all these in, you will get a ton of junk, but you may get a diamond in the rough as well. After turning in hundreds of engrams, I actually got a god roll contingency plan that I love. There are also more sources here than you think. Don't forget to check out Crow, the Wayfinder's Compass, the Splicer Servitor, Saint 14 if you play Trials. There are actually tons of engrams to be turned in. And though most of it will just be junk, that junk can be deleted for legendary shards to help you out going into Witch Queen. One thing you can use these legendary shards for is purchasing materials from Spider. I like to have a minimum of 2,000 of every material at all times, so check in periodically to see what he is selling and stock up. You can also purchase Glimmer, and if you have vault space, you can even bank Glimmer. You can buy certain ships and sparrows for 7,500 Glimmer and 5 legendary shards, and when you break them down, you get 5,000 Glimmer back and all your shards. So yes, it costs you 2,500 Glimmer, but if Spider is selling Glimmer for something you have a lot of, this is a good time to stock up and bank some ships and sparrows. I used to do this a lot, but with mods not costing Glimmer to be applied anymore, I am far less poor than I used to be. Thank you for the amazing quality of life change, Bungie. And speaking of quality of life and things that would make my life so much easier, let's talk about vault space. Again, Bungie has not mentioned we are getting more space, but if they do, this part will be less important. Regardless, it is always good to go through your vault and clear out stuff that you don't need. As you can see, I am always pinned on this and will not be doing it until very shortly before Witch Queen. I hang on to a lot of armor for builds and weapons for testing, as well as nostalgia's sake in some cases, but regardless. Witch Queen is sure to bring in lots of new items, so you want to have space to be able to hang on to your fun new toys. Plus, as much as I hate doing it, it feels good to purge. Speaking of housekeeping, you also want to set your characters up with lots of space going into the new DLC. The first 200 levels or so, blue armor and weapons can even help you, but you do not want to be infusing stuff all the time. So I like to have at least 3 open slots on all my character inventory spaces. This allows me to wear the armor I want and that I often use, but also to hang on to things purely for light-based purposes. This will require vault space to hang on to items that could normally be held on your character, so again, another reason why clearing out your vault is so important, but you will be glad you did. A couple other things you may or may not want to do is stack up on upgrade materials. I had heaps of enhancement prisms and shards, so I masterworked a ton of stuff recently to try and use some resources up. But you also want to have a decent supply of prisms and shards for upgrading new exotics that will come in Witch Queen. There will be a new raid as well, so raiding a bunch now for Spoils of War is also a good idea so you can get some new god roll loot early after it drops. I recently spent a bunch on a Fatebringer and Found Verdict, but I may run some raids in a few weeks to replenish my stockpile of spoils. Oh, also make sure you have 25 upgrade modules going into the new season. And lastly, take off all the artifact mods from all your armor. In the past, it prevented people from equipping things like hand cannon targeting if their armor piece had a seasonal hand cannon targeting on it from the season before. It's a weird little thing, but just another thing to do to be fully prepared. But that is all I can really think of. If you have any other suggestions for things to do before the launch of Witch Queen, comment it down below to help people out and also to give me something to consider. I would really appreciate it. But that is it for the video. I hope it helped you out in some way. I really like being organized in real life, so I find doing this stuff kind of fun and cathartic. Makes me feel prepared, which is exactly what a prep guide is designed to do. Anyways, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a Merry Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate, and I hope you have a wonderful New Year. I look forward to bringing you guys more helpful content next year. This will be my last video for 2021, but I have lots of exciting stuff brewing for 2022. But anyways, as always, happy Witch Queen prepping and take care.